Hey everyone, we're TowawayCouple. I'm Tom, the driver.
And I am Bunny, and I am the... Well, what the hell am I today?
I don't know, we're talking about dualies versus single rear wheel.
Well, then I'm the go bigger or go home girl.
There you go. Go big or go home. I like that.
Yeah.
So, we get asked a lot because we actually have two 3500 trucks, and we have a short bed, and they're both Rams.
Yes.
Go big or go home. Just kidding, just kidding. If you're a
They're
Ford
both
or Chevy
3500.
person, it doesn't matter what brand you own. If that makes you happy, it makes us happy.
Yes.
We won't put anyone down.
Because guess what? We're all getting the job done in whatever truck we're driving.
Exactly. So we have two Ram 3500s. We have a 2017 short wheelbase with a 6-inch factory lift with 20-inch wheels.
Yes.
I'm just giving you kind of the breakdown because some of the trucks have regular lifts and 17-inch wheels.
Right. And that one has 373 gears in the rear end.
That has 373 gears in the rear end. We have airlift suspension on it. We also have an auxiliary fuel tank, a 60-gallon fuel tank, a Demco Auto Slide 21K hitch, a toolbox, and we also have the Gen Y 16K Boss torsion hitch for the bumper pull.
Yes.
With the weight distribution.
Yes.
So, that's truck number one. Truck number two is a 2022 Ram 3500 dually. It has 17-inch highway tread tires. Oh, the first one has all-terrain tires.
Yes.
And we also have an airlift suspension installed on it. We have a 95-gallon auxiliary tank with a toolbox combo. We have a BMW companion hitch, and we have a toolbox, and we have the Gen Y 16K Boss torsion hitch.
And that
did I get all that out of there?
Yes, you did,
Okay.
But that one has the 410 rear end.
And that has the... See, Bunny knows all the technical specs. I just know all the toys.
But both of them have the Ison transmission.
But both of them have the Ison transmission. So they do come with the 68 RFE transmission, and they come with the Ison transmission.
If you're just looking to buy a truck to get into this, I definitely recommend you go with the Ison.
Yeah, the Ison is considered the Allison for Dodge.
It's going to give you more miles and less headaches.
Yes, so supposedly we've been lucky. We got 250,000 miles on our 2017, and we're now at 30,000 miles on our 2022. So now, the question we see a lot on Facebook and in our private messages, direct messages, whatever you call it. Some people say DM, PM. I always say PM. Does that make me sound old?
Yes.
Because it's a private message.
Yeah, you're old.
But it is a direct message. So, anyway, and we get emails on it. Why, or what one do we feel is a better truck? And they both have their pros, and they both have their cons. So, we'll start off with the 2017 single rear wheel, 3500. The pros on that one is it came with the 373 gear ratio in the rear differential, and the miles per gallon is phenomenal.
Yes.
When we're pulling our trailer, we get anywhere from let's just say 10 to 14 miles to gallon. When we're going through Wyoming and all the headwinds, we'll dip down into 8, and it sucks. But on average, we see 12, 13 miles per gallon with a trailer. The trailers that we pull are typically shipping weight, not GVRW or GVWR weight. They are typically 7,000 to 9,500 pounds.
Correct.
So that gives you an idea, and they're typically 20-some foot to 30 foot, 35 foot. So travel trailers, fifth wheels.
Yep. Well, actually, the pro on that one is we can do more fifth wheels because of the lighter truck.
Correct. So the GVWR on the short bed single rear wheel is 11,700 pounds. To stay under the 26,000, our 26,001 pound, somebody's going to go on there and troll me. We just say 26,000 pounds. To stay under the 26,000 pounds, I can pull up to a 14,300 pound GVWR trailer, and it goes by the sticker on the side of the trailer and the sticker in the truck. There's debates on all that. We're not looking to debate. We're just going to stick with those two numbers because both of the companies we've transported for, that's the two numbers that they care about.
And in both times you've been pulled in for your inspections, that's the first thing that the officer cared about.
Yep, I went over the scales on one inspection. He didn't even tell me what I scaled. He didn't even care. He immediately opened my door, looked for my truck DOT inspection, and looked at the GVWR, and then went straight to the trailer and looked for the weight on the trailer and went and added the two up. And when he gave me my clear level 1 inspection, it actually showed the two combined weights.
Yep.
So that to me is all I care about. Now, the dually, it gets crap fuel mileage. I would say we've been doing a lot of short runs to Michigan, 200-mile runs.
Yeah.
On the single rear wheel, we're getting 24 miles to the gallon coming back from California. We haven't really run it to Michigan or back, but on a short run. But on 200-mile runs, I'm guessing we probably get about 20. Actually, we just did one, and we got 23 miles to the gallon coming back because it was windy. On the single rear wheel.
Correct.
On the dually, with the 410 gears, we were averaging 10 miles per gallon going to Michigan. Birch Run, Michigan is where and we were getting 16.7 miles to the gallon coming back.
Well,
15.5 to 16.5.
Just on the way back from the dealer, because we bought it in Oklahoma City, and we had both trucks. So just coming back from the dealer, Tom was getting 17 miles to the gallon.
Right on the nose. 1,100 miles.
And I was getting 22.5.
Right.
So yes, the fuel savings, the fuel mileage in the short wheelbase is a hell of a lot better.
Now, why am I only getting 15.5 to 16.5, give or take, when I was getting 17 when we bought it? It's because of those mud flaps on the back. So when we got back here, we added the full width mud flap behind each tire and then the full length rock guard. A lot of people will make their rock guards removable. They say it adds a mile per gallon.
Yeah, but also, too, you got to take into consideration now we also have the extra fuel tank back there, all the added weight, too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So all of that is going to... I mean, you brought that thing back.
Or subtract the miles per gallon.
And then you travel with me, so you got another couple 100 pounds of weight for all the crap that I bring with us.
Exactly.
And coming back, that thing was empty.
Exactly.
Brand new truck.
Adding all that extra weight and everything, the suspension, the toolbox, the auxiliary tank, the BMW fifth wheel hitch, the Gen Y hitch. Oh my God.
That thing's a beast.
That's a beast, and it'll give you a hernia putting it in and out.
Break your kneecap.
But it'll break your femur. So ask us how we know. They did x-rays. They want to send me to a therapist, a physical therapist. I'm not going to no physical therapist. I'm going to man up.
We see that you had some damage in there.
Yeah, that's from the Gen Y hitch. I should sue them. No, just kidding.
No.
They are the best hitch, hands down. We recommend Gen Y over any other type of hitch.
We won't sue for our own stupidity.
No, we're not. Yeah, it's not my fault. I walked right into the thing that should have been a beacon flashing at me.
Now, as far as stability-wise, it's hands down.
Dually is way more stable. We'll be driving, and Bunny has all the wind apps on her phone, and she'll see me in the single rear wheel.
Watching the trailer in the back.
Well, that's what she's watching is the trailer. So if the trailer's doing this, I'm doing this. I'm barely moving up front. I feel it, but the trailer really feels it, especially a bumper pull.
Yes.
On the dually, she'll be, all right, winds are at 15 miles an hour. I don't even feel them.
Nope, and the trailer doesn't move.
And the trailer doesn't budge. That truck is just rock solid. So now, the big debate on Facebook is always, well, I'll get a 2500 because the GVWR is only like 9,500 pounds. I could pull a heavier trailer. Okay, why would you want to pull a heavier trailer with less heavier duty suspension and equipment? They're not the same. As much as people would like to think they are, 2500, 3500, the 3500s do come out with a little bit heavier duty suspension. On Rams, you can't even get the Ison transmission in the 2500. So it might say 2500 heavy duty. It's really not as heavy duty as probably the lower end 3500.
Right. And now that we have the two trucks, I mean, like you said, if we know we're going to have optimal weather, then heck yeah, we'll jump in the short wheelbase and take that all day, every day. But if there's going to be any type of wind or bad weather, no, only taking the dually.
Yes.
Just because pure and simple, the stability on it is so much better.
Well, plus, like if we were in California, we have the 95-gallon fuel tank with the toolbox. In the toolbox, I actually keep all tools up there. Anything that, if we get stuck on the side of the road, I may need something out of that toolbox.
I was like, we need a long wheelbase so I can have room to put stuff back there in the toolbox. Yeah, no, that didn't happen.
It didn't happen. In the very back toolbox, that's the stuff I use every single day. There is a little bit of extra room, but not much where it wouldn't get something greasy or dirty.
I don't want my clothes smelling like dirty fuel or oil.
Yeah, because I keep all the diesel cleans and the load weight distribution bars and the battery back there and the shackles. And I do carry a tool bag as well as my air compressor and impact gun and my jack back there. Mm-hmm. Just in case. I don't want to have to climb up into the bed. When we're pulling a fifth wheel, yeah, I have to have all that stuff in there because God forbid, I don't want to have my tonneau cover rolled up and get pulled into a weigh station and they see weight distribution bars or shackles in the bed of my truck. Even if they're secure, I just don't. My bed is completely empty. I don't want to draw any undue attention to my truck than absolutely necessary. So, yeah, now we did hear, and this is kind of a positive note, I don't know how much it cost. It's food for thought because if you're pulling your own personal trailer once in a blue moon and you're pulling RV transport, if you have any issues, the first thing that this one guy did was he switched out his gears to 373 and he gets good fuel mileage on his dually.
Yes.
And you know what? But I'll tell you what, with the 410 gears, it's like a top fuel dragster when you take off.
Now we actually we specifically went after. I mean, we could have gotten the same truck with the 373 gears, but eventually, maybe if gas prices drop, we definitely want to delete the bed and go haul and tow.
Yes.
Or multi-haul.
Multi-haul.
So therefore, our truck is already going to be ready.
Yeah, and we bought the dually with the intentions, and I understand the February cutoff and everything, but our intentions are to both get CDLAs. Right. Her CDLA, at least me a CDL. I don't have air brakes.
Yeah, I have to have air brakes.
Yeah, so she would need the air brake endorsement for the drive-away part of it. And with all that said, it's hands down, if we have the choice of the two trucks, we're going to jump in the dually all day long, every day. It's brand new.
Well, and
it doesn't have 250,000 miles on it.
We didn't buy our truck to haul RVs. We bought our truck because it was a badass looking truck.
It is a badass looking truck.
And it was pretty, and I wanted it. We didn't even know that it was 3,500 when we bought it.
Yeah, and like Buddy said, we weren't going to be pulling anything other than our own fifth wheel. So we never anticipated putting more than 100,000 miles on it over 5 years, let alone 250,000 miles in 2 years.
Right.
Or 200,000 miles, because we started with 50,000 miles.
Yeah.
So And now we got a 30,000 on the other truck, and we spent a month in Jamaica, and we spend family time. We really haven't pulled that much, but we put a ton of miles on the trucks.
We do. We really do. And,
Right.
and you will too. Once you start running, you're going to put the miles on your truck like you don't believe.
Exactly. So other than that, dually, single rear wheel, it doesn't matter. It's what your preference is. The dually is a lot more stable in the winds. As we say, our single rear wheel in 4x4 mode slips more than the dually.
Yes.
So we get more traction in the dually, even with highway tread versus all-terrain tread. And we get better fuel mileage in the single rear wheel, but we're more comfortable in the dually. We don't have so much driver fatigue.
The single wheel drives like a fucking tank.
It does.
It drives like a tank. I would not take that thing four-wheeling for nothing because you bounce around so tight in it.
Right.
Now the dually, completely different. It
Exactly.
rides like a Cadillac compared to the short wheelbase.
Right. So with that was we just wanted to put our opinion on our take on both of our trucks. They both have their pros, they both have their cons. We love the single rear wheel for the look and the style, and if we're going to go out just by ourselves, we'll take the single rear wheel over the dually. It's easier to park, easier to find. It has better turning radius. The dually, if it's going to come out to transporting, even on short runs, we're more than likely to just hook on with the dually and go because it's just so much more stable.
Yeah. Definitely. It was funny because we were originally thinking that when we got it, that I would switch over and do TowAway too, and now Tom's like, I don't know.
Right.
So, I mean, if we did, it would probably end up being that I would drive the dually, and Tom would go back to the short wheelbase.
Right, because of the stability, I'd feel more comfortable. All right, so that's our take on single rear wheel versus dual rear wheel.
Yeah. We were not dual people before we bought one. I honestly, I still, even though we own one, I still don't prefer the look over them.
Our dually's pretty badass looking.
It is pretty badass looking, but the short wheelbase black truck is
way nicer. The one recommendation I would have, if you get a dually, make sure you go to do it yourself. If you're mechanically inclined, I always never say do it yourself. Like a lot of people will say, if you can't do it yourself, you shouldn't be in this business. That's malarkey. But take it to a tire shop like Carter Tire or somewhere. Have them pull the rears off and put the valve extensions to where you can get to them without trying to put your hand between the tires.
right.
Rams are notorious for you are not airing up those tires unless you pull them off the truck. When we first got it, they had my tires at 90 psi, and coming back from Oklahoma, we stopped at 3 tire shops. None of them had extensions, but none of them would take the time to pull the outer off, do the inner, do the outer, and then put it back together without charging me. But they also didn't have enough time because the line would have been tomorrow.
Right. Yeah.
And we were on our way back, so we were just like, we'll just deal with it when we get back. Valve extensions for the inners and outer wheels, very, very important.
Yes, absolutely. Because even our daughter-in-law, the other day, they didn't put it. It wasn't long enough, right?
Well, she was the only one that, because she's so tiny, could get her hand in between the tires to take off the one valve stem because we couldn't even get the air compressor on it. So it left the threaded part because they come with the little plastic valve stem caps with the little plastic plunger. That's absolutely useless.
Right.
But we were able to get the clamp onto the inner, it was the outer.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got it up to 65 psi, and then we took it in, and I had a small nail in there, and they got it all fixed up for me. So
Right.
But yeah, I didn't expect it to have a nail.
No.
And that's how I found out the night mirrors. Now, I had already put valve stem extensions on the inners, And I told them I wanted to be able to air everything up from the outside of the truck. So they put the valve stem extensions on the inners, but not the outers, because they could see the outer, but they didn't realize they were useless.
Right, we couldn't get to it.
Right, so I ended up having to pay another $50 to go back and have them put the extensions on the outers.
Right.
And then they told me the reason why they didn't, or whatever reason, is because it would rub the beauty ring. I told them I didn't care if it rubbed it or not. It wasn't that big of a deal.
No, it's more of a big deal if you can't get to
if
air
you
up
get
your
a
tire.
flat or something. So, all right, single rear wheel, dual rear wheel, either one works fine in our RV transport. You get more options with the single rear wheel, but you get more stability in the dual rear wheel.
Correct.
And with the dual rear wheel, I'll end the video with people are saying that you can only pull 12,000 GVWR. I have yet to have my wheel stop turning at any time because of overweight trailers. There's always trailers in the yards that are under 12,000 pounds. Mm-hmm. I mean, even 11,995.
Yeah.
So, but typically the trailers I pull are 10,000 pounds, so I'm 2,000 under.
We're still good.
Yeah, we're still good. If there's a shortage on trailers, that might be a problem.
And that's when we pull out the black one and
That's
keep it
when we
running.
pull out the black one and our options just increased. And
Yes.
unfortunately, someone that's non-CDL that has a dually, their options decrease.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, part shortages, weather, plant shutdowns, anything can affect the trailers that are available at the time.
Yes.
So think of all of that, and are you able to sit down for a week or 2 weeks while inventory gets picked up? The dispatchers will work with you knowing your limitations. Mm-hmm. Hopefully they like you.
But you got to be honest and open with them too. I mean, don't if they like with us, we went to pick up a trailer that was supposed to be 14,000 pounds, and when we got there, the GVWR said 15,000 pounds.
And this is in our single rear wheel.
We're not taking it.
So we had them on dispatch, and we dispatched another one on our way back. Mm-hmm. And we pre-tripped it, but we took the dually instead of because it was under the 12,000 pounds. So we went and pre-tripped it, and then came home, switched out trucks, went back, picked it up, and headed out.
Now, one thing that's nice for us is both of our trucks have the tools of the trade. So we're just able to just come in and jump in the one truck and go.
Yeah, the only thing I have to do maybe, and I got to do it, is move the weight distribution hitch from one truck to the other, but I back them in right next to each other, so it literally takes 2 seconds. I don't have to move all my equipment. Each truck has the battery for the trailer. Each truck has all identical tools, air compressors, impact guns, batteries, you name it. It's all ready to go.
Yep. All right.
Be prepared.
Be prepared. Absolutely.
All right, so until next time, if you have any questions, send us messages. This is how we do our videos. These are our opinions. We're not looking to debate anyone. If you have an alternate way or an alternate theory, comment. We'll post your comment unless you're rude or an a-hole. We'll delete it. But if you can post a fact that you truly believe in, we may counter or may question it, or we may agree with it. But this is how we all learn.
Absolutely, it is. We learn off of everybody else's experiences.
And if you're bored and you're sitting there doing your 10 hours, check us out on Twitter, Instagram. We're TowawayCouple on both of those. And if you're new and you want to be have access to more information, on our website, TowawayCouple.com, click on our resources link. We actually have a Facebook group that is full of people that will offer you their opinions. It's like as we do.
Yes, and be nice about it.
And be nice about it. They're very supportive of new people.
Yes.
So, until next time,
we'll see you down the road.
We'll see you down the road.